Everybody, welcome back to the Crypt of Horrors. We're here today with another horror Blu-ray pickups video. So today's sub-theme is mail order stuff, which, so as you may have heard from our last couple releases, I haven't really been able to make videos very consistently over the last couple months, and so kind of everything all at once from like different periods and different sales. We're shooting, well, probably all in one night because the lighting is fantastic. Uh, so if I sound really exhausted, that's why. It is, dear Lord, it is 1:30 a.m. But anyway, so since we filmed our last batch of videos sometime in January, there have been a lot of online sales. So there was a Kino Lorber sale, there was a Vinegar Syndrome sale, and, well, technically the stuff I got from Best Buy wasn't on sale, but they had rare Shout Factory titles inexplicably cheap. So we're going to talk about those today. So we're trying to keep our videos a little bit shorter and sweeter as I ramble like a lunatic in my exhaustion. So without further ado, let's start having a good time. So our first pickup was from Vinegar Syndrome. There's Nothing Out There, which was described as kind of a comedy with like a frog alien. This came highly recommended by Justin Beam and Joe Lynch, who is on the Joe Lynch is on the commentary track for this, which, kind of looking forward to that. It's actually a large reason I bought this. So, plus some recommendations from my friends at Vinegar Syndrome. So, I think the thing that kind of annoys me the most, though, is this comes with a slipcover, and they were sold out of like the slipcover edition, so it actually looks kind of, well, it doesn't look as good as I think it does with the slipcover, but I'm not really worried about that. So the movie is supposed to be amazing, and everybody I talk to says I should love this, so looking forward to that. So, also, good lord, look at all those extras. Come on, focus, stupid camera. Well, you can probably pause or something. So we want to try to keep our videos at or around 10 minutes so that you don't get too bored listening to me ramble on. But yeah, this has like what? I have to like stop and count. Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 commentaries. So this is gonna be an adventure. So the last several titles I kind of blind bought from Vinegar Syndrome, How Comes to Frogtown, Taming the T-Rex, and Spookies. They were all winners. So I'm betting we'll have a good time. Moving on to the Kino Lorber sale. Well, the Kino Lorber sale wasn't necessarily all that exciting in my opinion. A lot of titles weren't really marked down all that much, but the Kino Lorber site is essentially the only place you were really going to find most of them. So I ended up, I spent probably more than I should have to try to get free shipping. But, yeah. Anyway, but I think we came away with probably the best of the stuff that was on the site that I didn't already have. So we're going to start with, so I haven't like opened these up yet, except for this one, because I was going to watch it somewhat recently. So Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend. It's kind of like E.T., but it's a dinosaur in the jungles. It's based off the Makile Mbembe cryptid legend, which I used to be really into cryptids and all that stuff when I was younger. Like, I was a big, like, dinosaur kid. And actually, I think this might have been the first movie I ever owned. I saw this on beta cassette, like, when I was 2, if not slightly younger. And it's always been, like, a really, like, special, close to my heart movie. And, there is a Mill Creek Blu-ray, which I already had, but this one actually has, like, a little bit of extra stuff with it. Like, it's got some interviews with the actors. So I figured, this is a movie that's been pretty much forgotten by time. Some would say justifiably so, because kind of watching it as an adult, it's like, this isn't quite as good as I remembered. It's a little hokey, and sometimes the effects don't work so well. Like, occasionally you can see the wires in the animatronics, for example, which I had never noticed before. But I always really love this movie, and I'm gonna have a good time with this pretty much no matter what. Plus, it was very cheap. I think it was like $6. So, also kind of a fun fact, I guess, about me. So, I saw this like really, really young, and trying to figure out a tactful way to say this. Well, one of the main characters is this female scientist, and I saw this for the first time in 20 years, like 5 or 6 years ago, and it's like, wow, the scientist in this movie looks an awful lot like my ex's. What? So I wonder if that has some kind of, like, developmental thing in, like, determining who I'm attracted to. So it's like, wow, she really looks like... Wait a minute. It was just kind of a funny personal thing. I still love this movie. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, a friend of mine, like, I showed her this and I was like, oh, look what I found. And she was like, wow, that looks terrible. And it's like, how dare you? Yeah, it's funny now, but I was actually a little hurt. Anyway, moving on to Parasite 3D, which is not the Oscar-winning Parasite that everybody should be familiar with at this point, but a creature feature from Charles Band, which I think there's quite a bit of history to this that I just don't know. But a lot of people were talking about this like it was a big deal. The guys when I went to Flashback Weekend, the guys at the Full Moon booth were trying like really hard to like recommend it to me, but I just didn't have enough money to pick it up at the time. And with it being, I think it was only like 10 or 12, so it was like, yeah, we'll take a shot at it. So, and it looks like a fun ride. And then we have The Rift, which is some kind of underwater adventure sort of thing, kind of in the vein of Deep Star 6 or Leviathan. At least that's how it was pitched to me. And I really enjoyed Deep Star 6, and I really want to see Leviathan. But it went out of print, and... well, I ordered it from like 3 or 4 different places as it was going out of print, and they all canceled my order, so... this is the compromise. But it's supposed to be pretty good, from what I understand. We're trying to keep everything in frame here. And then kind of, finally, the big title of the Kino Lorber sale. Oh, that's another thing I want to point out, too, about most Kino Lorber releases. Like, they're just... the logo, the title. Like, there's not art or anything really fancy. Which is a bit of a letdown when you're used to so much, flair from companies like Shout Factory. But anyway, so Trilogy of Terror 2. So Trilogy of Terror is one of the best horror anthologies, and I ordered it from Kino a while ago, but I couldn't afford to pick this up at the same time, and so this was kind of what I was after on the Kino sale. Well, this and Baby. So these were just kind of, padding the order so I could save $10 on the shipping. Which is maybe inefficient, but eh. But, I've only seen this once, and it was quite a while ago. But I remember it was honestly a pretty worthy successor. Like I remember it being good. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it again. And with let's see, with well, not so much with the Rift, but with Parasite and this, there seems to be a decent amount of like extras on there. So I'll get to learn a bit about it. So I'm excited for that. And then moving on to, I guess, our last couple of items. So, Shout Factory titles have started to go out of print, which kind of wish I could have seen that coming, because some of them have gotten quite expensive. Like Leviathan, for example. And so I kind of preemptively went after The Dark Half and Bad Moon. So The Dark Half, I think this is like a Stephen King thing, directed by George Romero. So pretty solid pedigree. And I didn't really know what it was about, but I saw people starting to price gouge on it, and I had the opportunity to get it from Best Buy's website for like 10. So I was like, okay, if we hate it, we can sell it. But again, it's one of those things where we've heard all positive buzz, so it should be fun. And then Bad Moon, like I've seen Bad Moon before. It's a werewolf movie that's kind of focused like on this dog. It's sort of difficult to explain, but it's good. And I'm happy I get to revisit it. So plus there's some pretty decent stuff on here too. Seems like we've got a new director's cut and then the original theatrical cut. So there's a lot more stuff on this than I thought. I wonder if this almost could have been one of Shout's like collector editions, and they just didn't do like a slipcover and a poster for it. But yeah, that's the roundup for stuff that came in the mail from those various sales. So we'll be back pretty soon with another round of pickups. Hopefully you had fun listening to me ramble as you're stuck in potentially permanent isolation from coronavirus. So stay safe, wash your hands, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back.